Hey everyone, welcome to my review on the EVA1 camera. You may be wondering whether or not this is the right camera for you. So hopefully with my experience using this camera over the years, will help you decide. So I'd definitely say for two purposes, this is my go-to camera. Number one would be for interviews, and number two would be filming action sports. Let me explain. So this would be a go-to camera for me whenever I'm going out to shoot interviews. It has everything built in for the audio controls, your direct XLR in, and gain controls just on the side here. I obviously will use other cameras to get different angles at the same time, but this is where I'm feeding my audio through. The other instance where I'm reaching for this camera is when I'm shooting action sports. For instance, outside when it's sunny, I need to be able to control my exposure and see what my frame looks like. So this has a better EVF situation than my other cameras do. I would use my Panasonic S1H, for instance, over this camera for getting certain creative shots where I need it on a gimbal, because that camera is just ready to go at a moment's notice. So what made me first purchase this camera and what am I excited about it after using it for years? I would say it was one of the first Netflix approved cameras early on, which I was definitely excited about. Just having all the functions of a cinema camera. One of the main draws for me, having all EF glass, was that it was native EF mount. So all my lenses fit on without an adapter. I was definitely excited about that. Every camera system has its own way to help the user get crispy focus. The focus squares on here are something that I really use all the time. Even though this camera will shoot 400 megabits per second, that's a massive file. I am really loving the HVAC codec, which is about 150 megabits per second, which maintains a lot of that information in a smaller package. I was actually one of the first in Canada to have this camera. HD Source let me use their loaner from Panasonic while Panasonic was rolling out pre-sale orders. So I was fortunate enough to have this in time for a shoot I had in China. So my final thoughts on this are that if this camera is in your price point, I would definitely recommend picking it up. It's been a real workhorse for me. I know it'll serve you well as your A cam or as your B cam. Any questions about this camera, please leave them in the comments below.